Okay, I want to share just some basic things about playing acoustic guitar that a lot of guys either don't know or haven't been keyed in on yet that really help you to be able to approach the instrument in a way that's a lot kind of easier to think of. It's not quite as complex as maybe some of the books that you're following are. First of all, before we get going, just basics about staying in tune. It's very important to keep your guitar in tune when you're playing. It causes all kind of havoc on everyone's ears if you don't. And it's just very kind, not only for your bandmates, but for the people you're playing for. You can tell when you're out because it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't come together and sound cohesive. But as you're tuning, get a good tuner. And as you're tuning your notes, one thing that I often do is once I get it, I use harmonics at the 12th fret. Each 12th fret has a harmonic, and a harmonic, what you do is you touch the string lightly with your finger, kind of pull off all at the same time. All together they sound like that. It's good to practice harmonics. It's a neat thing to know. But when I'm tuning, I always use a harmonic because it resonates right and it's not loud. Oftentimes when you're having a tune, you're on stage and the pastor or some speaker is about to come up and you don't want to be going real loud so the whole audience hears you. So tune up with the harmonics, get it tuned up in the tuner, E, A, D, G, B, E. And one thing that I like to do is as I'm tuning each note, I get it in there and then I grab the string and yank on it with these three fingers and kind of bend it as far as I can, and then continue to tune and get it zeroed in. And what that does is it takes some of the slack and the tension out and gets you keyed in to where you're in tune better. One thing you have to be careful of is air conditioning. At my church, I don't know about you, but we've got a big vent blowing on us, and oftentimes we'll come out and we've tuned backstage when we get on stage and it's freezing cold, and cold means things tighten up and go sharp. So it'll go out of tune in a heartbeat. So keep an eye on it, as you're tuning up before you play the set. Make sure you stretch the strings out and things are like they need to be. The second thing I wanted to show you is just some chord forms that oftentimes as a beginner you learn that sound great when you're playing some songs, but for a lot of songs they don't let the guitar be what it can be. The beauty of the acoustic guitar is that it's kind of a really great sounding instrument when it's droning, and that means that there's a lot of the same notes going on. It's big and piano-like. But here's an example. A standard E chord that you've probably taught or that you're learning if you're just starting looks like this. And the problem with that is it has what we call a third in it. And for modern music, it sounds really happy, which is fun, and we want to be happy. But the way that I play one, and the way a lot of guys I know play an E up here is the 2nd fret. Take your pointer on the 4th and 5th string, hold them down, put your pinky on the 3rd string, 4th fret, and let the E and B strings stay open. And that's just so much more substantial and powerful, and you can strum it like this. It's just nice and full. And then the next chord I want to go over is the A. This is a common A, and it has another third in it. So we're going to get rid of that third with a pinky and play an A2. And once again, that lets the B and the E string ring open. And then next I want to show you a B form. A standard B form might be barred like this, and it's just basically an A 2 frets up. So you move it up like this. And that just sounds like you're around a campfire playing, cowboy songs or something, and that's great. But this is a way to make the guitar sound better as you play a B form. Put your pointer finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret. Ring finger, 4th fret, 4th string. Pinky on the 3rd string, 4th fret. And again, let the B and E ring. You do a B like that. So what you get when you put those three together is you get what's called a 1-4-5 progression. And all together it might sound like this. Once you know a 1-4-5 progression in that format, you can grab your trusty capo. Looks like this. There's lots of different kinds. I like this one because I can clamp it on the end of my guitar and grab it and move it if I need to change a key or move around quick while I'm leading worship. But one thing you can do is put the capo on the 1st fret and play the exact same chords we just did. Again, it's a 1-4-5 progression, but now you're playing an F chord, a B flat chord, and a C chord, but you're allowing these 2 first and second strings to drum and give it that nice full sound. And then if you want to go up to the G note, which is at the 3rd fret on the 6th string here, same thing. Take matters even, impress your friends even more. If you move up 2 frets with that same B form, you get a 6 minor chord, which is an E minor in this case. So anytime I'm playing in an E, I'm gonna always play most of the time here. And if there's an F, I'm gonna play here, and a G here. And the next form I'll show you, which is amazing, is the G form. Play a G like this with the pinky and the ring finger down here, 3rd fret, 1st and 2nd string, and then the index finger on the 3rd fret, 6th string, and I put my pointer on the A string or the 5th string on the B note here. So together it sounds like this. And then if you move over to your neighbor next door, here is the C2, and then if you move over to the D chord, this is a D sus. We're going to leave these pinky and the ring fingers right here the whole time and just go back and forth. So it's like this. You might recognize that as the Lord I Lift Your Name on High progression. But anyway, you can do G there, and you could just keep on moving it up with a capo. Moving on up to G to, this is a B flat. And then you could throw in a 6 minor chord, which in this case would be an E minor. So that's the G form, and you can move that thing all the way up the neck as high as you want to go. It sounds a little more like a mandolin. That's a cool effect, cool place to play on some songs. Here's another thing visually I want you to see. If you're playing in the key of E, and you played an E like we showed you, if you go to the D string, this is an E note, this is an octave, so if you did octaves they would go like this. Up the neck. So for every F note or E note you have here, there's an octave here, that distance apart. Now if you take the capo and you see that note's 2nd fret, 4th string, and you fret it, you have the root of a D chord. So this is E as well. It's just played in a different position. You can play around in that position as well, and you can move these all the way up. This would be F, the D position. So F down here in the E position would be here. And move the capo up 2 frets. This is a 1-4-5 progression. D, G, and the A. So have fun with those, and whatever key the song's in, you can figure out which position you want to be in. Remember that the E position produces kind of the most open droning sound and is really fun to play around with. The G and D positions are also great as well. Oftentimes I'll use the D position kind of capoed up for a little bit more of a tender approach when I'm doing finger picking. You can do some really interesting things. Sound nice when you build things around that D position. So those are just a few things I wanted to let you know that might help you out as you begin to try to play guitar.